So thank you so much, and thank you for Madam Chair for having this important hearing. Iowa is no stranger to natural disasters, especially those that knock out communications. In August of 2020, a powerful derecho swept across the Midwestern United States, and it caused severe damage and serious damage in Iowa. And in response to requests from public safety, the FirstNet Response Operations Group deployed portable generators and portable cell sites to boost FirstNet connectivity where coverage was disrupted due to infrastructure damage and loss of commercial power. Since the derecho, AT&T has made significant investments in permanent power at lower sites in Iowa. In addition to deploying new permanent infrastructure, the dedicated fleet of FirstNet portable network assets are available 24/7 at the request of FirstNet subscribed agencies and at no cost to public safety. The FirstNet deployable assets make sure first responders have connectivity when and where they need it, both during and after planned large events and during times of emergency. The fleet of 100 plus dedicated deployable assets includes ground-based assets such as satellite cell on light trucks. The FirstNet satellite cells on light trucks provide similar capabilities and connectivity as a cell tower. And the portable assets link to the FirstNet via the satellite and don't rely on commercial power availability. The FirstNet deployable fleet also contains groundbreaking use of aerial cell sites, flying cows, cells on wings, and FirstNet One, an industry first blimp. I think you had showed us, Mr. Parkinson. And there are several examples. We've used this during the 2021 RAGBRAI. For those that don't know, that's the Register's annual Great Bike Ride across Iowa, goes across the entire state with 8 overnight stops. And it's also been deployed by the University of Iowa and the University Public Safety for large events such as the University of Iowa Hawkeye Games when typical service may be disrupted or congested. Although I have no financial interest in any of the entities that I mentioned, Mr. Parkinson, last month the subcommittee heard from Christopher Rodriguez, the director of DC's Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency, on rapidly deployable cellular infrastructure requested through FirstNet to support the demands of large events and incidents. What different types of deployable assets are currently being used by FirstNet, and why are they such an important resource in emergency management?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. And if I could give a shout out to the RAGBRAI race, my sister has done it 3 times, and it's a great ride. She's tried to bring me in, and so far I've resisted. She's the athlete in the family. One of the most important things we've had, especially as we saw around what Director Rodriguez mentioned a few weeks ago before this very testimony, was the fact that at areas such as the National Capital Mall, we do need more permanent capacity around the Capitol and down really the Pennsylvania Avenue Canyon. There are so many events that take place. If you think of the 4th of July annual celebrations, we often see very, very large protests down those areas. And obviously the Capitol riots on January 6th is another example. So there is a need, absolutely, for more permanent capacity in and around those areas. And so that's one area that we at the FirstNet Authority has been coordinating with many of our federal agencies who have offices down that portion of the Washington, D.C. area. And I would certainly welcome the opportunity to get more support from Congress in those efforts. So another important part of it, your question though related to deployables, you mentioned most of them. We also have a small fleet of cell on wings. These are drones that can fly and create some sort of a mesh network around a certain geographic area. And we're always exploring in the space of innovation, trying to identify new capabilities for public safety.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating about it is that with the assets you have, be they permanent or they deployable, they function in rural areas or in urban areas. So it really expands our connectivity, and which is especially valuable in emergency situations. And I think answers part of the questions that Representative Higgins had, which is our coordination in our first responder group coordinates both with local law enforcement, local emergency management, so local, county, state, and then national level. So there is a coordination in Iowa among all those groups, and they're all brought to the table, both at the local level and the state level, and then with our federal partners. So hopefully that'll answer some of Representative Higgins' question. It has worked very well and has been invaluable in the state of Iowa, especially, as I said, during the derecho, which took down a lot of our infrastructure. So thank you very much for that. And Madam Chair, I'll yield back my time.